Like, it just quit existing, basically. That's a shame. I mean, I guess it's back now. Can someone confirm that it's back? If, like... Yeah, I hope it is. Anyway. Yeah. 0 viewers, that's not very promising. And nobody's confirming that the stream works. So that's also worrying. Ah, but okay, it says I'm on. Like, okay. I hope so. I hope everything's working. That's the best I can do. Okay, now it's working for you. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah. So, yeah. Also, it's warm in here. Open a window. Let's see. So I'm sort of happy that he's taking his time here. Because maybe that means he also doesn't know what to do. So this is one of those positions which feels a little bit like a zugzwang for white. Like, in chess, the concept of zugzwang is that it's your turn, but you don't want to move. And of course, white does want to move. It's much better for white to have a move on the board than to not have a move on the board. But the point is that you have no palatable ideas, right? That's what could translate, let's say, from chess. Or like, there's nothing that you want to do. So I mean, a random waiting move like c17, like q18, that's fine, but it's not fun. So we'll see. We'll see. I wonder if he would be daring enough to go for something like r3 and just like take the sun. That would be funny. It's really weakening to the rest of the board, but it's big. So yeah, there's a chance he goes for it. And there's a chance of like L16, L17, K16, K17, J16, J17, H16. And then the reason that that's probably fine for white is that if I Hane, he gets to play the M18 cut, and after I connect O18, then his turn is Sente to kill my stones on the top side. And because it's Sente, it's sort of big to get that turn, and he gets a lot of profit. Like, he gets a nice wall for that. That's reasonable for him. And I'm actually tempted, after he cuts L16, to go for something different to my original plan. Because that does look nice for white. So there's a chance that after we push all the time, instead of hunting at Q18, I'll just slide at G18. There's a chance I do that. But then that's okay for white. White gets a nice wall. The other alternative that I'm considering quite a bit is L16 and I just play L18. Because then I don't have that problem anymore where that cutting point exists. So, yeah. It does make sense for him to cut strategically because this stone is sort of lonely. So it does make sense. And then L18. I'm thinking L16, L18. And then if white extends, I Keima. Or I could just play Q18 and then Keima later. Like, whichever way he basically saves the stone, I Hanya at Q18, I get myself some good endgame, and then I play on the lower side, and that's okay. And most of the time, it's okay for me to play these sequences if I end in Sente. And I will end in Sente most of them. And if I end in Sente, for example, I can jump into the center with F11 or G11 and sort of connect my stone, my K10 stone to its other friends, right? I could also consider a move like L8, like, I don't know, even something random looking like M9, or even Q10. And all of these stones indirectly or directly help the K10 stone and reduce white's influence, so that's fine for me. So basically, after he got L16, the thing I want the most out of this position is Sente after he cuts L16. Because if he gets Sente, then he gets a bit of initiative, which is bad with how much influence he gets. But in general, I should get Sente, I think. So it's not too big of an issue. Or he might take Sente after I Hane Q18 and just say, well, the corner is small. But it's not just about whether I take the corner, it's about the cutting points that are created in the opponent's shape. So it's annoying for white to leave that unattended. So I'm reasonably confident about this position. I mean, it's fine for both, of course. Nobody did anything wrong, except for my Tengen, maybe. So, yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that chat's discussing a bit. I want to focus on the game a bit for myself also, so I won't be addressing chat during the game. But it's nice that you're inputting your thoughts. You can discuss between you. Feel free to roast me. Also, when I review the game afterwards with Jonas, I think we'll be reviewing by call, and we will be. I'll keep an eye on chat if you guys want to chip in and roast us or something like that. That's more than welcome. So yeah. You know what? Something I like about playing against Jonas is that I always get a time advantage. He's really slow, right? Now, what I dislike about playing Jonas is that he gets into Byoyomi and then he plays fine. He's really slow, then he gets into Byoyomi, then he plays fine. And it then begs the question, why do you think so much in the first place? And the answer is he can't help himself. He gets lost in positions. He likes thinking about Go. He finds it fascinating, right? And he's not practical. But then when prompted, he plays well under time pressure. Worse than not under time pressure, but he plays okay. He's quite a good Byoyomi player. So the time advantage means less than against other people. There's some people I know that just collapse in Byoyomi. So, a good example of this is Dominik Bovis. I always bring him up as an example. He's a 6-dan player from Hungary. He's, reasonably strong 6-dan. And he spends, like, let's say that you have 30-second Byoyomi. He spends 20 seconds, or actually, yeah, he spent 20 seconds thinking and 9 seconds preparing to play perfectly, like, to play the move on the last second. So he wastes, like, 10 seconds of his time to look like he's using all of it. Oh, this attachment. That's funny. In my last game against Jonas in the Dutch Open, I played this move as white. We played this Joseki. I had the white side of it, and then I played d14. That's deja vu. Yeah, in that game he cut, which made sense. In that game, but I don't think makes sense here. Hane, if I Hane d13, he'll probably play e13. Which is a bit annoying. But it's only a bit annoying. I might Tanuki after e13. But he does get reasonably strong afterwards. He does get a strong connected shape if I do that. I'm having second thoughts. I don't know. I'll go think about it. I'm considering whether to get water now or after next move. This is one of the toughest parts of playing, like, games. When do you time when you get up from the board. Like, so that your opponent doesn't waste your time. I usually try and pick moments when I think my opponent will be thinking about the move. I mean, what he did only makes sense if he hanes. If he goes up or something like that, it's just I tenuki and then he has nothing. Like, nothing important. So, I'm expecting him to hane, which is also the most challenging move. But yeah, we'll see. I'll go get some water and a coffee. It's normal practice game stuff, I suppose. Returned. Man, how did my viewer count increase while I was getting a coffee? It's almost like you guys don't like listening to me. Man, he's still thinking. Jesus. It's move 50, and he's used 35 minutes, which means more than 1 minute per move before move 50. Where, like, we've played Josikis and known sequences, and... Man, it's really fortunate for Jonas that he's good at Byoyomi. It's actually not fortunate, it's like he practices a lot. Because he does stuff like this. Yeah. But I'm really not sure what he's thinking. So if I were white, my only consideration would be to play e13. If I've already played d14. Like, I might play something else instead of d14. But now that we've, like, now that we've played d14, you have to hane. I don't see what other move you play. Oh, posture check, good idea. I'm trying. So this hall address, because posture is sort of important while playing. I wish I remembered more. Yeah. So I don't really know what he's thinking. Jonas's mind is very mysterious sometimes. The only other thing you could be considering, in my opinion, is c15, and then b15, and then c13, and b14, e13, and basically you just play the most forcing moves, and that way you ensure that you take sente. If you start with e13 and black tenukis, then after c15, black won't block b15 and let you double Atari him. He'll go down. That's my plan. After I tenuki. Like, if I tenuki, not after. If I tenuki. And I might... Oh, actually, after e13, I might Atari d15, e14, c15, f15, and then I will tenuki. So he might be trying to get sente and avoid those variations. Where I get sente? I don't know. His mind is hard to decipher. And 10 minutes on this move. But Jonas is quite good in Byoyomi. I mean, he was doing this during the Dutch Open, right? The real-life tournament that we just played in. And he beat me, Lucas Bodpera, like, Yan Zihan, who's very strong. It's... And he beat all of us, like, getting into Byoyomi. Oh man, Freda gonna light up the chat. I won't acknowledge your resistance from now on, Freda, but... You're worth 10 shit posters. Let's put it that way. Okay, I'm sorry. You're worth more. Okay. So let's get back to the game. Well, back to the game. I'm just waiting for it to do something. I don't understand. Like, I guess if you're scared that I will tenuki, like that black will tenuki this position, then I mean, you could tenuki now. I mean, the exchange makes no sense, but you could tenuki now and then say that you're like the exchange doesn't really hurt you. You could do that. So I'm just waiting to see what he does at this point. Oh, Tangi's also... Wait, Tangi's here also. More trolls. Hello. I'm unsure as to what he's thinking. I mean, against Jonas, sometimes he just plays so slowly that you're just like, let's wait to see what he does. Because I mean, as the more I play competitively, the more I try to preserve time. I'm like, man, my time's useful for when I actually need to calculate stuff and figure out whether my group's dead and etc. But Jonas is just contemplating the world. I mean, if he's following up d14 locally, then it has to be e13, I think. It has to. Otherwise, the exchanges aren't good. Like, c15, b15, c13, b14, e13, d12, that's sente. That's just not good. That's terrible. So, yeah, I'm unsure as to what's crossing his mind at the moment. I could imagine, that he's... yeah, please, well, Yeah, don't kibitz helpfully. I mean, you guys are good at that. You're good at kibitzing unhelpfully. So, um, I mean, if you want to discuss, what I could do is just not look at chat at all. So, it's I guess it's up to you. If I see you guys are discussing moves, I'll just ignore you. So, um, mm, but yeah, E13, E13, D15, E14, C15, F15, and then I think I continue. Oh man, crosscut, crosscut. Ah. Oh, what's going on in that guy's mind? Play 1-1 4 times. That always works. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. No, wait. What's up with this move? I'm confused. Crosscut might be good, actually. I'm just surprised it took him this long to figure out that he wants to play it. That's... yeah. So I'll think about it a bit. It's alternately too cold and too warm in this room. That's not ideal. So... if I play B14, I just go down, and I, chill, then he might play something like, maybe, I guess D10 attachment is his plan. And that's actually reasonably strong. Not a bad move. So then... maybe I should be considering C12, but that's not a nice shape. That's not the type of shape I wanted to, write home about. Sort of awkward. This reminds me of my game with Calvin's son. The one that was commented, like Artem wrote some commentary on the for the European Go Journal, right? I mean, he's the editor, so that makes sense. And in that game, there was this shape where if black goes down, white attaches, and black could go down at C11, and then black sort of connected, even though it looks scary. But still, white gains something there. White's actually gaining, so maybe I shouldn't do that. Like, black survives, but white gets good exchanges. I don't want to give my opponent good exchanges. I want to give me good exchanges, ideally. I could also just play E13. So E13, and then he's sort of forced to play C15, B14, B15. Sort of. Because otherwise there's like nothing he's gaining. Like there's nothing good about his exchanges. And then I'll cut D15 and he'll play C16, or he can make some exchanges on the second line first. And then he gets something on the left side, but I get a strong shape and I get Sente. So there's... that's actually... I somewhat like that idea. Somewhat. And the nice thing about this is that it strengthens my shape enough that I'm not worried about any like D10 stuff. So let's go for it. Looks okay. So what I'm thinking is that he can push through C15, B14, B15, but then I play D15, I fix my shape problems for the most part, and I'm gonna get Sente inevitably from that, because he has to connect the C16 sooner or later. And that I like that, because I get Sente, and I get a strong shape. So there's a lot of nice things about it. So this looks reasonable for me. He might go for b14, c15, d15, and then after I cut b13, c12, and I take on b15, maybe there's some aji he can activate? Maybe? I don't know. I think that's fine for me. For the most part. So, But it also looks like one of the better ways. Like, if he just plays d15 immediately, I just go down, and then my shape's fine. And maybe he can play, like, b17 and keep his corner, but I'm not worried about that. He plays gote to keep his corner. I'm okay with that. I mean, actually, e13 is a useful move for the rest of the board, so I don't mind if he gets a bit in the corner. So, like, if his corner shape is slightly improved. However, if he starts with b14, he makes the capture of his stones on the left side a little bit harder. So there's a chance that that's, like, sufficiently profitable for him. I don't know. So maybe b14, d15 is an idea. We'll find out if he agrees with me, like, in 10 minutes. So, yeah. You know, I keep thinking, because I have so much more time than him, I think I'm playing quickly, right? But actually, I'm not playing that quickly. I've spent 19 moves. I spent 19 minutes for exactly 26 moves, which is a little bit faster than a move per minute. It's not, it's, you know, okay, but it's not, like, fast, right? It's just he's thinking himself into Byoyomi, I guess. And nothing like playing Jonas. Yeah. But yeah, I'm actually expecting b14, c15, d15. And then if I play c12, he connects. Oh, he plays this one. Okay. I'm fine with this. This is the sequence I liked for black. Because I get sent and my shape's good. And I figured that my shape being good is also important because I affect white's J6 group, you know, reasonably, quite a bit. I thought that that's another good reason. And if he wants to play the, like, very delicious endgame around a14, right? That sort of hurts his outside because he loses f15 center, for example. So there's a drawback. Like, either my shape gets strong or his endgame isn't that good. Because if he doesn't play this, like, he can play a14 exchange and then I play b13. If he wants to get even more endgame, he has to give me e14, which means he doesn't have the f15 Atari, so my shape's getting better and better. So it's... And I get Sente, which is what I thought was most attractive about this particular sequence. Like, he gets the corner, but I get Sente. It's not that dissimilar to, like, if you played b17 in the first place. Hey. Expected. And now I get Sente. So let's... I guess it's okay for white. I don't think this is good for me or anything, but I like it. Let's... So this is where I'd sort of like to give the white group some stuff to think about. The one in the center. And I'm not sure if I should do that now. Or if I should play, like, Q10, which is huge, and then make white think about the group later. Not sure which order to do this in. Like, I'm thinking about a move like J8. J8 looks reasonable. Because I just... You know. I mean, white's not... White doesn't have ice space. So white has to run somewhere. But the group is also not, like, super annoyed or something. It's fine. I don't... It's not like my attack is anything special. So this is a hard moment, like, and I don't quite know what to do. Maybe I should have figured out what I want to do before, like, playing e13. Because now I don't quite know where to go. I mean, it's fine, but is there nothing better than J8? I don't know. The idea behind J8 is that I'm sort of trying to poke at some holes in the white shape. That's sort of the plan. And I don't know how effective that is, so... Yeah, I'm seriously considering just biding my time and playing like Q10 and let him figure out what to do about his group. Because eventually it will get weak enough I can attack it, like, well. Eventually. Hmm. On the other hand, it probably doesn't hurt to ask a question or two to this group. I'm just thinking, so if I play J8, which is sort of threatening to attach here and cut his stones in some variations, he can just fix it by, like, attaching at G4. Well, H4. Like H4, H3, H5, and actually have shape issues I have to fix. So his group is reasonably strong. A very strong, flexible group. The type I like to have, So even though it seems like I'd like to put a little bit of pressure on him, I fail to see how. So this is why I'm increasingly gravitating towards either playing Q18 on the top side, because that also looks big, but just, you know, playing a move here. Yeah, let's just play here. Let's wait. I mean, I'll let him figure out what to do. Because I don't know my next move. Oh, he's Jonas, so he attacks me. Sense. Okay, that's fine. I guess I have to play here. This is sort of forced, actually. Okay. Because if I play, like, K16, for example, he cuts at O18. And if I take the Ponuki, then L18 threatens to capture me and snap back, which gives white fantastic shape. So this is sort of forced. And I'm guessing he'll play Q18 now because it's really big. And then I'll play K16 so that my stones are, like, you know, connected and out. So I don't mind this. It's just a curious move choice by him. I think probably K17 is a mistake. Because letting go of the tension means that it's easier for me to do stuff. Like, before, one of the reasons I didn't play any moves was that if I play a move, I don't fix all my weaknesses, and he activates one. Like, for example, if I'd played L18 on the empty board, then he would maybe get to play Q18, and now, like, now when I play L18, I think this K17 move looks a bit silly once I fix my shape. It's just a good exchange for black. So, I think, like, I would have, if I were white, if I had done anything in this area, I would have just played Q18 directly without playing this move first. And the only reason I can think of for him doing this is that he thought I would Tanuki, and now I probably won't Tanuki. Which is maybe reasonable. Maybe. I really like my shape now if I just play K16. It's a nice shape. Very nice shape. Man, but Sente is nice also. I like Sente. K16. The thing with him cutting is that if I got to play K18, J17, J18, like H17, and then I get to Atari L17 and Sente, and make 2 eyes in Sente, that would be fine. But I'm scared that if I push, he'll Atari my 2 stones, and then start extending, and then it's harder for me to live. So, okay, let's just defend the shape, I think. So, man, I would have liked to take Sente here. So it sort of makes sense. I just... Oh, and he still plays locally. Man, he really wants to give me Sente. Okay, this I like for white, for black. I mean, I guess this K17 move makes more sense, I just don't agree with it. With the sense it's making. Because, like this, white's shape is gonna look really over-concentrated. Really over-concentrated, because now he's sort of promising to save the 2 stones, yeah, but now he has these really low stones next to a group of strong stones. And that doesn't make sense, not really. So, I don't agree with what he's doing here. This is, like, before I was like, well, I maybe prefer black's position, or maybe I like what I'm doing, but what he's doing is fine. This, I think, is a mistake. I like this for black. Because settling the tension like this isn't really helping him. I think. Do I jump? Well, this is a Kama, I suppose. But I really like how strong and connected everything is, even though he's not profiting that much. I mean, he played Q18. But he also gave me an easy way to take out my group and just, I have no problems anymore. So I'm somewhat satisfied with this sequence for black. Yeah. Even... Later H16 is a little bit annoying for white, because I'm threatening to play G17, and that doesn't capture his stones, that just gets me good endgame. But it's really annoying, because he's just over-concentrated on the top side. Wait, oh man! Oh man, he really... At this point, he's daring me to attack his center group. Okay, wow. Oh man, that's a move. That's a move. I wouldn't dare to play that. I like strength too much to do that. Because what's gonna happen now is that this group of his, it's gonna suffer. I mean, I have to make it suffer. Not because, like, if I don't do it, I'm worse or something. It's more like, man, if you're playing stuff like this, I have to punish it. Jesus. Man, Jonas likes points. So let's see, how do I get sent out of this? I could just extend and then he'll play like S6, I guess. That's an idea. And the... Yeah, that's actually fine. I might do that. And then the other idea is R5, S5. And then, do I hun it? Or do I just hun on S6 and then R6, connect, take, well, Atari, take. And then I get a really strong shape and I get Sente. And then, theoretically, I should use this Sente to make that group of whites in the center regret that it was ever born. Oh, hello, Najee, welcome. Oh man, I really want to make this white group regret its existence. Okay, I'll Hane. If I double Hane, there's a chance he Hanes the other way and plays the old Joseki. So let's actually extend. Then white will take Gote somehow, and then I'll start pummeling the center group. Like, man, it's almost disrespectful. Like, he makes my group on the top side strong, lets me connect it to K10, strengthening everything, and then he's like, yeah, I live in your corner, the center group's fine. Like, what? Oh man. I feel like I'm gonna make a mistake because I'm gonna overpunish. That's how strongly I feel about this transgression of his. In my opinion, it's a transgression. Like, by the way, I'm not saying I'm gonna kill it. I don't intend to kill this thing. That isn't the point. But suffering usually brings profit to the one that isn't suffering. You know? Okay, and now this is where the gloves come off. Let's see how he handles this. I don't know. I'm curious. I mean, if I were white, I wouldn't like to have this group. I'm curious what he even does with it. This position's just unpleasant for white. That's my opinion. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I have so many Sente moves also. Like here, like, you know, Q6 is my Sente, I can Hanen. I've all kinds of forcing lines. So I'm really thick everywhere, and his group is just sitting there. This should be good for black. I'm quite confident about this. Because it's not like he got anything amazing to give me all of this strength. Like, he got a Sansan invasion, which is normal, and he got Q18, which is normal. He didn't get anything else of moment. So I'm quite confident that this, like, I don't need to kill it, I just need to make it suffer, and that should be fine. Okay, this attachment's sort of expected. And I guess I can just play here. It's fine. Will he crosscut? I don't think I mind crosscut, but I'm wondering if that's what he thinks. I don't think crosscut's good, actually. But it might be what he's thinking. Okay, just here. So he's trying to settle his group as quickly as possible. But that has some advantages for black as well. So I don't really mind this. Like, for example, an exchange like K5, if he makes it, that really solidifies me. Like, my own lower side. So this is, I think, fine. I sort of like this because he's getting really defensive. He's like corralling, you know? Just making sure that he doesn't die with these exchanges. That's the impression I get from it. So the group's like, I think the group's obviously being profited off of. Like, if I play J8 and he just plays a normal move like L8 and he's fine, then that's good. But if he has to like live in this cramped area while I get moves like J8 and he makes exchanges like H4, H3 that damage his endgame on the lower side, and like J5 which solidifies the lower side if I just answer J like K4, that type of stuff, that's the profit you get from attacking. Little by little, your opponent bleeds territory while he settles his group. And that should be enough because it's not like he got anything that important to give me this attack. So I'm happy with this position. I like playing it for black. I understand why he did what he did because he's like, I won't die with the group, but yeah, I think black should be better here. That's my guess. Also sort of expected. I'm thinking h9, h7, g9, j5, k4, d8, and then he's e8, and then he's alive, I get center. How's that position? It's about 60 points. And I have about 40 solid points, but it's my turn and I'm really thick. That's the type of position that is sort of difficult to evaluate, because I'm obviously going to make some profit in the center, in multiple places in the center, but it's hard to say how much. Oh, I'm just thinking. Okay, this might be better than I thought it was for me, because of a shape problem he has in that sequence I suggested. So this should be fine for me still. Or like better for me. Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming he'll be playing h7. I don't see a better move for white. And then I'll be playing g9 because that basically takes away white's shape. And then I think the only way that white can make enough ice space in this cramped area to live, and it's actually quite valuable for white to just live outright with two eyes, it's e8. And e8, but only prefaced by j5. So that's sort of what I'm expecting. If he plays j5, I'm considering playing k5. So he plays k6 and I get sent it, but that's a really bad exchange. It's a really harmful exchange for black. So I'm considering just connecting, letting him play e8. Oh, he plays here. He gives me the Atari. Man, I'm not complaining about this. I mean, I thought the other variation was probably a bit better for black, but giving the Atari. Hmm. I'm tempted to just connect. Connecting's pretty big, because if I don't connect, then he'll get the Hane for free. So this connection's reasonably big. And then it's difficult, it's actually difficult to see where the eyes are for black. Sorry, not for black, obviously, for white. So this is tempting. The other thing that's tempting... The other thing that's tempting is to play e7. And maybe instead of connecting h8, because I don't really know what I'm achieving by connecting h8. Apart from preventing the Hane at k8, which is annoying. So I might just play k8 myself. And then how easy is it for him to make eyes? I'm reading that then he can only make two eyes. he might only make two eyes by playing J5 and then this move, which is disgusting for white. And the other way that he gets two eyes is like K8, D8, and then when I if I wedge at F5, then he plays F5 and then I wedge here, and then I take all his eye space. But he can prevent that from happening by beforehand playing F4. After which, like if he exchanges J5 and F4, then he's fine. He has like sufficient eye space. But then he has only 4 points in the area. And then he gave me E2 endgame and Sente. And I have Sente just in general Sente. Like it's my turn. So that's a sequence. If he's gonna have to play all of those bad exchanges in order to make life, I'm not complaining. So that's reasonable for black. Very reasonable. I like it for black. And the other thing I could do is just play something like E7 immediately to start taking all his eye space and like let him get the Hane at K8 and run out into the center this way. And that variation is not very attractive to me because I want him to be playing for eyes in the small area. I don't want to play in the small area myself and then let him like get out into a bigger area. So that's a difficult decision. So E7 takes connect, Atari connect. But then he defends. He should defend the 4 stones at some point. And then I connect. And then it is true that I have a really big territory in the center if I do that. It really gets quite big. That does feel nice. To get the territory really efficiently like that. And if he runs into the center, well, I guess it's not the end of the world. So that's actually a surprisingly palatable decision. Then I'm thinking about something like E7, K8, connect, and he gives up the 4 stones, which is painful points-wise, but then that lets him like get out with K9 and jump, and the group's sort of alive and not suffering. So there's something to be said for that variation for white. Not sure. But it's really hard. Do I let him live in Gote and small, or do I take the eye space and let him like leave? Eh. I guess I'll take the eye space. It is big. It is big to capture the 4 stone. His group will be sort of fine though. I won't have that much pressure anymore, I think. But I will cash out capturing 4 stones. I think that connecting for him would be a bit of an overplay. Just because after I connect, then he didn't gain anything, but he gave me the territory in the center. And he also decreases his own eye space because I might get to play E7 later. And also, if he lets me capture the stones, he gets to play F5 in Sente, which helps his eye space in the middle. Okay, this I expected. My plan was to connect. The shape looks a bit wonky. Like, imagine some cool, like, attachment at H10. I mean, it looks cool. It's not good, but it looks cool. So, and now I'm guessing he'll play E7. Sorry, F7. Because if he if he lets me play f7, that's just really efficient territory. So I'm expecting f7, I take the territory, he'll play like k9, I'll connect my stones, it's his turn, and then he'll do something to help his group out. So h10 is such a Jonas move, yeah. I mean, h10 is the most Jonas move. He'd play it just because it looks nice, but I don't think it's good. This helps me. So. I'm sort of liking this position now for black because I got a lot of profit. Like these 4 stones and the endgame, the ensuing endgame, because a5 isn't his cente, etc. That's very nice for me. Like I enjoy that, I have to say. And then his group, it's gonna be fine, but my pressure on it is not completely gone. Like I think he'll end in Gote. So then I get a lot of stuff. I like stuff. So I'm sort of happy with this sequence, with the attack, because I haven't relinquished my potential in the center. I could still, like, get a little bit of territory in the middle eventually. I still have some invisible territory there. I still have the 10 points I gained on the left side, like, clean cash from the attack. And my pressure isn't gone. So, not entirely anyway. So it's okay for black, I think. My shape in the middle looks a bit wonky now, though. But I got some territory, so... It's fine. I'll be right back. More water. Oh, what a surprise. Jonas hasn't made a move yet. Man, every time I come back, I'm somehow surprised. I'm momentarily surprised that my opponent hasn't made a move yet, and then I remember who my opponent is, and I'm not surprised anymore. I think the right move should be f7 here. I don't see a better one. Like d6, like e6 is considerable, saving the 4 stones, but that just gives me a nice framework in the center, very solid framework. Whereas if he connects at f7, then he can still sort of mess with my shape in the center, even though I have a bit of potential. It's not like that good for me. Like my center shape is, you know, won't get me that much. So I thought f7's a big move, but he's obviously considering saving the 4 stones. Now, what he can't allow to happen, like what he can't allow, is for me to cut at f7 and then get e6 on top of it. That's a lot of profit for black. That's just so much profit. Also, while taking white's ice space. So that's like if I get both the cut and and e6, that's very profitable. So I'm not expecting him to do that. Well, I'm not expecting him to do anything except f7 or e6. So. Last time that I played Jonas in the Dutch Open and he got into Byoyomi, it was 22nd one time Byoyomi, so it's really tough. And I was trying to pressure him. So like really trying to put him under pressure and make him suffer because he's in Byoyomi. And I also had about 20 minutes left on my clock. And I promptly blundered because I was playing quickly and trying to put him under pressure, and I blundered. He completely destroyed me. Yeah. So that didn't go well. So I have to play time pressure a little bit more intelligently. At least when my opponent's in time pressure. I could imagine he's in one of these situations where he's just completely indecisive as to which one of the two options he wants to play. And it's just sitting there. And in such situations, I try to force myself to make a move. Because if I'm deciding between two moves, usually the difference between them is not that big. Like, usually if there's two moves that I'm considering, and I'm not sure which one's better, very often then I check AI or I think about it. They're both fine. That's why I don't know which one's better, you know? So, um, oh, he's on a bathroom break. Preparing for Byoyomi. I'll type to him, yo, dude, need a bathroom break. Feel free to pause. Yeah, so all of this I expected. I didn't expect J5 so soon. I expected it at some point. But I'm happy to see it, because it's just a good exchange for black. It's possible he's doing it because he wants Sente. Because he's sort of saying, well, this is my Sente, right? F5, so I can make eyes whenever I want. So therefore, I have license to Tenuki. Now, I think that's a slightly risky decision, simply because if he Tenukis, then I play something like L8, and he has to actually live by playing on G5. That's an awful lot of neutral points he's playing on, you know? So that's not necessarily helpful. Like, you know, if you Tenuki, and then the result of your Tenuki is that you need to play G5, that's not fun. So there's goods and bads if he Tenuki. I think Tenuki is fine. So, okay, yeah, he did Tenuki. But it might be painful. Wait, actually, if he hasn't exchanged this yet, why don't I exchange it? I think this is an inaccuracy by him, because he needs to have this exchange on the board, because otherwise he can't make his second eye. And if he ignores, then I take his other eye in Sente. So I think actually he made an inaccuracy here, and I'm gonna get too much pressure. He should have exchanged f5 in Sente. Because now he has one eye. And my plan now is to play L8, which I think is relatively severe. It might just end L8, K7, and then I'll just connect my shape and then he'll make an I. He's playing a lot of dame, but I guess it's reasonable for white. So what if I play more severely? This would really be a very aggressive way of playing it, which I'm not sure I want to do. Like, just your group is meant to suffer. You know, your group will not see the light of day again. No, okay, maybe not that bad, but pretty aggressive. I think it's playable. Man, I'm getting aggressive. I mean, the dude Tanukis, I'm gonna attack it. But it really would have been much easier for white had he exchanged f5 for e5. And the reason he didn't do it is that he didn't want me to play f9. Like, if he exchanges, I can play f9 and make a lot of territory later. But in this position, I can't because he has the Atari at e8. So that's why he didn't do it. Like, it's not like, I guess he didn't forget, he just didn't want to. Because in that sense, it's a bad exchange, right? That means that he gets sent there safely, but I get even more profit. So that's questionable for him. So by Tanukiing this way, it's the way that he can like really claim that he's getting an advantage, but it's also riskier. So that's sort of the issue. And now I could imagine that I get a profitable attack simply because I'll get to turn it at m6. M6 is a huge turn, and in the meanwhile, his group is like not alive. So mm-hmm. I think he may have played the Kosumi just because he's Jonas and he doesn't like killing the possibility of playing h10 later in the game. Which is not unreasonable, it's just a very Jonas thing to do. Um, but eventually I might just gobble up K9 and Sente, so it's risky. I think White's group might be in trouble here. Like, actually, like, in I might die kind of trouble. It's not really my intention to kill it. I think I can just attack profitably. But I mean, if I can kill it, I will. I'm just not going to try to do so, right? I guess I'll Keima. Keima makes his life sort of hard. By the way, if he does attach here, there's a significant chance I'll play J9, which is a funny move, but it fixes my like liberty problems for the most part. It's a funny move. Okay, I expected this. I intended to just play here because that, you know, that looks like it fixes my shape. The other move I could consider is like R14 or something. So I'm like making profit and like pretending that I'm closing off like pretending that I'm closing off oh the O11 problem while also making territory on the right side, or like not territory but making something on the right side. That's an option. What's the score actually? I'm just gonna count the points quickly. 58 for white. So I think if I just played here, let him live, and then just defend my territory, I think black's slightly better already. But I don't have to do that. I can be aggressive here. Maybe I won't, but I can be. I'm still tempted to attach. Interesting. So I could try and read what actually happens if I play, like, p10, which is like the most severe move. Or I'm actually just trying to kill. And that's not a bad move, because even if I don't kill, him suffering inside my area, that will bring me profit naturally. It's not a... I'll play it. It's not a bad move. It's hard for white to answer it, also. It's a difficult position for white, because if he dies, the game's over, and if he doesn't die, black's probably better anyway. So that's unfortunate. For him, not for me. This move. This move? I don't believe in this move. I think the idea is that if I cut, he plays like n8 and that's centif or something, but centif for what? Not sure. Not sure I believe in this particular claim. I could also, I mean, I could just play q7. q7's also good. It's a good exchange for black. Man, there's so many good options. What do I do? I think he played it because he doesn't want to run out of time, but that's... I guess R7 is the most principled move. Because then it's just a good exchange for black. Like, if he just keeps going down, he hurts his corner very significantly. So... I find that conceptually quite an attractive variation, because it's like I'm clearly gaining whatever he does. So that's... I like that. Yeah, I'll do that. Just... I don't really see what this move contributes in terms of helping him live, also. It's just a good exchange, and... I mean, this is sort of what I meant when I said that this group would suffer. Small gains like this, they'll add up, and I already think black's position is better, so... Being annoying. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure white's annoyed right now. I'm really getting my revenge for the Dutch Open thing. Even if I lose, I'm being annoying here, you know? Like, even if I lose, I'm enjoying this part of the game, and my opponent isn't, so... Yeah. Hmm. Yep. And now... My plan was to play here. Because if I play here, then that's just amazing for endgame. And I still can't see how he captures my center stones. So, but I mean, also I could just play here. Your chair looks massive. It is massive. It's a chair. It's my yeah. It is massive. I like it. Comfy. So I was thinking I can play here and the game's good for me, but like that, I might give him mercy because he gets to play L5. No, yeah, and if I push, he gets to play N6 and probably get on my stones. So I'd have to let him live. Conversely, if I start with M6, then he can push through and keep dying down there also. I don't mind. And I'm also making profit, and it's also hard for him to make eyes. So this variation I like better because it's more punishing. Black's just... Yeah, white's position isn't fun, in my opinion. Like, white has to crawl down this way, and S7 has so much endgame value, because even if he gets to push and send it, I get the Hane, I'll get to Hane the other way, I get so much profit. Right? Like, at this rate, I'm gonna get to fix the problem of white, like, Hane at P1 or O2 stuff. I'm gonna get to fix that passively. Like, he's gonna fix it for me by struggling. So, you're thinking aloud is pure gold. Oh, thanks. I haven't, it's, you know, this is the most serious game that I've ever played, like, commenting it. I appreciate feedback. Man, I'm enjoying this way too much. Like, this is just, I mean, this is torture. I mean, this should be illegal, what's happening to white. Guess this is fine. Cut. And then, I guess here. I mean, and I guess technically he cut me. But, yeah. Oh, thank you. Thanks. My mother nicely brought me some fruit. And took away my dirty glasses. Man, parents are nice. Some of them. So I guess I could just Atari. Because that makes my shape really solid. He cuts, and he extends, but that means I have lots of Sente moves. Like, everything is Sente. Right? Like, his group suffers from a Liberty shortage. So that should just be fine for me. And that also means that my shape in the center is really solid, so moves like H10 aren't really painful. I could also consider getting K9 in Sente at some point or another. But yeah, this position is really fun. Yeah. Man, I'd feel sorry for Jonas if I weren't so evil. I guess he Tanuki'd one too many times. Like, he Tanuki'd many times, and then eventually he got in trouble because of it. He also Tanuki'd in really greedy ways. But yeah, anyway, I should win and then gloat. Because right now I'm commenting the game as if it's over or something. Which it isn't. It absolutely isn't, so. Okay, and at this point, I could let him connect. I could. That would be fine. The other thing I could do is go down and then use the fact that S10 is sent to lift my group on the right side, which should be more than possible. Should be fine. I mean, I could Hane, block, connect. Then if he tries to survive with his group, there's a lot of moves that are sent from my connection. So that feels relatively safe, actually. Even though my group gets cut temporarily. I could do that. But I'd have to read it a bit. I think the simplest variation is just I play like this shoulder hit or something. Or this attachment. And then if he connects, I don't care much. I can just do other stuff. And that variation is already okay for black. Because I gained in the center, I gained on the lower side. So, I'm tempted to do that. Or I could also play it aggressive here. I don't quite know which one I want to do yet. So t8, t9, connect, and then cut. And then, like, if he survives with O12, then it's sort of difficult. I mean, I might be fine, but I might not. So maybe I won't do that. Like, what I'm thinking is, well, something like R11 threatens to connect by cutting. But it's actually not a clear connection. There's still some, interesting stuff. So I think, rather than playing the first line connection, I think the more correct thing to do will be to just attach here and try to connect in the most efficient way possible on the right side. And if he wants to connect, that's fine. So yeah. If he hanes q14, my plan is to hane q13. Okay, he connects, which is perhaps necessary for him, but I think that means I'm enjoying a pleasant position. Yeah. Next, I guess I play this move because that's just comfortable. I could also play the other way. I'm undecided. I sort of want Sente. And if I sort of want Sente, not sure, not sure. Because I was thinking about S15, then R16, then I Tanuki. And then I have Sente. And then my group is very probably fine and I can just do other stuff. Because finally the right side is not very big just because it's very hard to close off because S10 is open, the center's open. So long as I have so long as I have a living group there, that's fine. And I want Sente in order to play stuff like A13. And I also want Sente potentially in order to prevent P1 or O2. O2's potentially still annoying. Like I might need to concede something if he plays it, and therefore I could be thinking of preventing that. Now I think I might be preventing it by trying to prevent it efficiently by playing O7. So then if he plays O2, I'm not concerned. I just go down. But in any case, there's multiple reasons why I might be wanting Sente at this particular timing. And then that's why I'd like to find a good way to settle the top side. So white has about 55 points in total. And the position I'm sort of thinking about in my head is, what if I hane, he extends, I tanuki, and I tanuki to play O7, and then he plays this on the lower side, like these exchanges B12, etc., and then plays B11. So he has about 55 points. And I have I mean, I'm winning comfortably. So I guess anything's fine. I'm winning by more than I expected, I have to say. The only thing I should be worried about, like, in such a position, is that for some reason this exchange still leaves my shape a little bit thin and maybe he can do something. So maybe I should analyze that. Maybe I should just play q15, and then if he pulls back, then Tanuki, because then my shape is safe. It's pretty safe. And if here and he blocks, then I also get sent moves. So actually, I'm gonna go for this variation. If he cuts, I just pull back, he pulls back, and I get sent anyway. I don't mind that. Okay, and now I guess I play 07. Not sure which one's bigger. A13 is really big, but when he plays 02, going down is really risky. Because he jumps and, like, I connect and then he jumps again. It's a big reduction, and it's riskier. Whereas like this, it's a big reduction, but he loses f15, which is a really good exchange for white, which he could get, but he doesn't get it anymore. And then, even though he takes like 10 points on the left side, he does it in Gote, whereas this is probably Sente, whatever he does. Like, he can make exchanges and then not play b11, but b11 is really huge, so he might do it. So, I guess here is good. I'd also be tempted to play something like Go Down, but then the Keima's reasonably strong. So I think this is good timing to just maybe do I push first? Push is unnecessary. Yeah, push is unnecessary. So I'll just play here or here. I'm trying to see if there's any Aji after 07, like 02. Is there anything like that interesting he can do? I guess the answer is no. So okay, let's just play here. And I'm okay now. Black's just better here. I think Black has a relatively easy game. I mean, of course, I mean, it's not over till it's over, but I think Black's clearly in the lead. Push. So this is, I was wondering what I would answer here, and I guessed that I might just play here. Because if he makes this exchange, that's like nice for him. But because he gets one more point. But I also have one more liberty, which is safer. If I push, and this is what I was thinking about earlier, I have one more point, but I have one less liberty. That's, I mean, I guess I will push. Because that's, I like my point, and I don't see the Aji that white has, but it's a little bit scarier. I don't like risk, so. I'm expecting b12 now. And him to make those center exchanges, because that's really big. Okay. Man, that move breaks a lot of rules of shape. Like, just think about the move, like, in isolation. Like asking to get fully split. Now, it makes sense in this... it's a good move, I think, locally. But it's a weird move. Like, you look at it, it's not what you'd expect. I'm thinking most likely what I want to do here is attach. Or I could extend and just live on the right side. Try that. Or I could just like attach and let him go down and then Hane and then take Sente. That's also fine. Because Sente's really big, because A13's huge. So that's... If I get Sente out of this, that's fine. And if I make this exchange, then I'm guaranteed Sente, basically. Let's do that. I just want to connect my stones and Sente and play A13. I have simple wants and needs. So I might play K9 before I play A13, but yeah, A13's coming soon. And then I could Tanuki, but I think I can get away with the Hane first. Actually, what if then he turns, though? A little bit less clear. What I could do is go down, but that also gives him some stuff, so I don't know. I'll stick to the Hane. I also don't want a Tanuki immediately. That gives him too good of a shape. Like later. And if he turns, right, I thought I'm basically okay because I have some Aji with Q14 and then O14 peep. I'll get some profit later. It's okay. Yoyomi. Do I Tanuki now? Tanuki now is not the best shape. Play this move while I think about it. I think I can Tanuki because if he Ataris, then I can Atari and then take, and that's fine. He can make some Tartar on the right side, but it's Gote. So that's reasonable for me. And this, I mean, A13 is just huge, so it's like worth so many points in Gote. Four, three. Oh, he actually I get it in Senta, wow. I didn't expect that. I don't think he should answer. There are bigger moves on the board, for sure. It's a weird move by him. Very weird. Do I push? Push is reverse Senta now. But it doesn't really, it doesn't fix anything, huh? 7, 4, 3, 2. I guess this move's pretty big. Taking some control of the right side, so he can't, like, make points there easily. P1's also pretty big. I considered P1. I have like 65 points. Even a bit more, actually. I'm 65 points, but I'm being conservative because I'm not counting much of this potential, so it's going to be more. There's some Magi. Now this turn would get a lot of profit if he doesn't prevent it. So But I have a lot more than 65 points, because the center potential is quite good. So. So he's about 73 points total, like everything. This move is sent there.
Four, three, two.
And now I have to make something out of the center. How do I do it? Like here. This is an ugly move, but it just works, sort of.
8, 7, 4, 3, 2.
This move's also reverse sent this, so it's attractive in that sense. Because it's a powerful move for him. Play it. And now I intended to Hane.
Seven.
Now here. Sort of difficult to turn this center into points. Like always, there's a hole somewhere.
7,
But this is fine.
6.
This move I expected, and it is annoying. Also Gote. It's also Gote.
7, 4, 3, 2.
I guess. Actually, the game's closer than I expected. I think I'm better, but like slightly. Only slightly. So that's not ideal. Oh, do I play this one? No. I die on the top side then, so never mind. I guess here. Yeah.
9.
It's like 71, 72 points that I'm counting right now. And I have 10. I'm better.
10,
Here.
4, 3, 2,
I forgot that this is Sente, so then he'd actually break into my territory. I have to play this one, which is a bit annoying, but it's fine. I hold everything, which is the point. I'm wondering if I can get the monkey jump in, because I'm afraid he'll get it. But it's fine. I always have 018 in Gote if he plays the reverse Sente. They're similarly big, actually. And the reason is, even though the monkey jump has a bigger value because it's Sente, the value of Sente is really small on this board. Because there's like nothing big left.
4, 3,
There's like nothing big left on the board. It's all small. So, yeah. As a result, it's like he gets P1 in Sente, right? And then he like gets K18, and then I get O18 and Gote. And even though K18 is theoretically bigger because it's reverse Sente, there's no moves on the board left. Like there's no big moves. Like that's it. There's like 2-point moves from now on. So here I intended to play O12, and now I'm all connected. So, like P12 is an annoying move, but it is Gote, which let me make the center, and I think that actually gave me a bigger advantage than I should have had. The game was a bit uncomfortable before that. So here, if I'm counting correctly, I'm just ahead, like, significantly, so. I guess he'll Hane P1 and get K18 next.
four,
Oh, he wants to try something. Man, if I were him, I'd try to win the endgame. I think I'm only up by a cup. Like, I think I'm clearly up, but not by much. So I'm surprised he's going for this. I would have tried to win the endgame. Like maybe he just thinks something works. But
9,
if it doesn't work, he's just losing points.
7.
So that's not sure about what he's doing here. Like he just loses so many points if it doesn't work, so it's risky. I'm just fine here, right? Right. I'm surprised. He might think he's behind by more than he is. Because I think the game's, like, reasonably close. Like, if he just plays Hane and plays all those Sente, then plays K18, and I play O18, and then he has the next move to start endgame, I think the game is, like... I think I'm up a couple of points, but that's it. Like, only a couple. So then... This decision of his I find strange. Unless he thinks actually something works, but I don't think so. I just don't see it at all. Because I'm gonna connect. Yeah, connection's fine. And then if he plays O3 and I play like P3, I can actually cut his stones and take his liberties pretty efficiently after it. Like if he spends a move to connect K6, which he has too soon, I'll just be okay. I have multiple ways to be okay here. And if he plays the center move of jumping, I think I'll connect at p3, and then I'll play n2, which is a sneaky second line connection, but that's fine. So I'm not hyper concerned here. I guess I'll play this one. Because that really decreases his liberties badly. I don't know, I disagree with what he did. I think he just lost points in a game that was actually close otherwise. Perhaps I was too lenient in the second half of the game, because I thought I should have a lead because I gained so much from the attack. But at the end of this sequence, I was slightly better maybe. And it may have been because I mistimed h19, which is bigger than 018 after all. So the game was surprisingly close. I need to take a look at how it got so close, because I thought black should have been better. But like this, man, can I get greedy? That's the question. What if I get greedy? Not sure. By get greedy, I mean I Tanuki. Can I Tanuki this? I want Sente for h19.
Seven.
Let's play this while I think about it. Oh, Tanuki actually dies. Okay. Tanuki dies if he plays the right move order. Or actually not dies. Wait, it doesn't die if I play the right move order. Man, Tanuking this is so BM, I want to play it.
5, 4, 3.
Oh, hello, diligent Baduk student. Just reading.
Four, three, two.
If I can Tanuki this position. Yeah, I can Tanuki.
7, 4, 3.
If I'm wrong, it'll be really funny. Would be slightly bad, but I'm fine. But this is really profitable because I get all the endgame. I get the Sente monkey jump and I get 018. So now I must be winning by a lot. Because he lost points and I took Sente. That's... Wait, why is he playing this one? This, in theory, this lets me get a Ko. Now, I'm not interested in the Ko, I'm interested in chilling. But this move order of his is weird because it lets me get a Ko. fine. Have it your way. Maybe I should have played the Ko for entertainment purposes. But it's a heavy Ko for me. It's a heavy Ko. Because if he wins it, he takes on L19, which threatens to kill with L17. So yeah. I mean, Jonas is kind of good at yeah. Jonas is kind of good at making like complicated variations where he's worse, but he doesn't care because they're complicated. That he does that even when he's ahead. um. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, but I want to look at what the difference between the two players, like how far ahead I was if he plays normally, if he just plays P1 endgame. Because I think I was only very slightly ahead, like a couple of points and that's it, you know? So in my mind, like maybe a bit more than a couple of points, but only a couple of points. Okay, first I'll handle this. Need to make sure that I don't die or anything bad like that. He might just be wanting to make a semidori out of it, right? To make me play moves in my own territory. But just gotta make sure that I don't die. This I expected, and my plan was to go down, because going down is okay. Yeah, this is just fine. I don't see the problem. Yeah, Jonas does. Jonas plays like that. He likes to make the opponent nervous. He likes to play stuff that's like, oh, just testing you. I mean, that's a very interesting way to play, right? I appreciate it in some ways. Very challenging. So... But it's interesting. I mean, I guess he counted and he's like, I'm 2 points down, so let's go crazy. And it's 2 points down really late in the end game. So I guess I was fine, but like it was close enough that I would have tried. If I was him, I would have tried to win the end game. So I was surprised by his choice. So I need to look at it afterwards. I'll ask him. Why does M1 not work? M1? L1. Well, because you can't make two eyes. It's sent it, but like what do you do afterwards, right? You're not really achieving anything with that move.
Four.
Like L1, and I just protected J3, and then you can't make two eyes, it's Miai. So I'm gonna win by a lot of points, because he killed his P1 endgame, and he's not even getting a semidori. He's not even getting to, like, make me fill all of my points inside. Like, he is, but only a couple of them. He already gave me a couple of points by letting me kill the M5 stones, where usually he'd get L5 and Sente. So in the end, I'm gonna get a lot of profit off of this, like a lot. So that's unfortunate for him. Not unfortunate for me, but like from a game that I mean I was up 2, maybe 3 points, right? Now Black's yeah, and then I Tanuki'd. So now I think I might be up like more than 10. So yeah, that's an abrupt change of pace. I guess here I could take here, I could take here.
4, 3.
Man, I could Atari, wedge, and play Q14, threatening both P15 and S14, if L14 weren't sent to cut my stones. Yeah. I'll just chill. But yeah, it's interesting, because from what was happening to White's group, I thought White was just getting crushed. And I think I was too lenient. I was too like, oh, I'll attack for profit. And somehow he managed to stay competitive. Like he was almost fine. And that shouldn't have happened the way his group was suffering in the middle. So I think I was slightly complacent there. I gotta watch that, you know? can't do that. I guess this is Sente. Oh wait, it's not Sente. What am I doing? Forget I said that. Actually, connection's bigger. Connection should be bigger. This one. I would be 12 instead of R13. R13's really big. Then skip B11, go back to R13. Yeah, this you might be right about. But actually, we can discuss that later. That's not clear, in my opinion. I'll explain why later. I mean, actually, N8 is reasonably big, because if I play N8, then I gain points because I don't have to play the Semidori, very possibly. That move would have been dangerous. I think always asking for that song. I think the component that you might be underestimating here is that when White does make those exchanges at B12, he kills the opportunity to Atari F15 and Sente. And that's actually quite important. So I think you might be underestimating that factor. So Ataring at F15 was really valuable because that really limits my center potential. Like in the game, in order to avoid that, I had to crawl, and later I still had to worry about the cutting points. If that liberty of mine is covered, then I could basically make efficient territory by playing G15 in the center. That's why I think you're overrating B12 a little bit, in my mind. So, like, whereas I'm not sure if you're wrong, I think it's not clear. Like, consider that if I have a stone at E14 and I don't have a liberty problem in the center, I can just jump at G15 and make, like, 7 more points than I made in the game. In the game, I had to keep taking Gote and lose points because of that liberty problem. So, I'm actually not sure about whether that's clear or not. But here now. I'm gonna win by a lot of points. The unfortunate part for White is that after he made these exchanges, like, playing G1 is fine, but since he never connected F1, that means that K5 isn't Sente anymore for him. So that means that L1 isn't even Sente for him. So because L1 isn't even Sente for him, he can't make eyes. So for example, imagine he played Q1, right? If this were his Sente, right? If L1 is his Sente, then he'd be able to play at P4, and then after I push O1 and 1, that would be a Seki. But because he can't play at L1 in Sente, that means that he can never get, like, he can never ever even threaten to make an eye. So I'm just better. Now, that does mean that when he plays L5 at K5, he's threatening to make the Sente, technically. So, you know, it's not like there's no Aji and there's nothing he can do. But, you know, it's sort of uncomfortable for him. I guess here. I could also play nothing. I could also Tanuki, to be quite honest. Here now, push. Now, I guess connecting here is reasonable. Wait, how big is this? Enough.
Six. 4.
Oh man, we spent a lot of time in Byoyomi finally. This game went like more than 3 hours, more than 2 hours and a half. Which means we spent like 2 hours and 40 minutes or so. It's gonna end up looking. I'm not miscounting, right? 1, 2, 3, okay. You get paranoid about this stuff towards the end of a game. At least I do. But yeah. Since it's, yeah, we've been playing for 2 hours and 40 minutes, so that's a lot of time in Byoyomi. By one of us or both of us. I mean, I'm just waiting. The last moves. For a game that is not close. I'm imagining he like cut like F11 now. He like scared. Oh, he'll play M19 and then take all my eyes. Just to like look scarier. Told you. I mean, let's just take here, I guess. I mean, Jonas always tries this type of thing, which is a little bit annoying when he does it, but you know, like sometimes he wins. So, I mean, dude, I've known this guy since before. Okay, since not before you guys were born. You're all older than me, but
4. 3.
but you know, like he's. We know how he plays. This is how he plays. He's like, try. He doesn't like losing. So, I mean, he takes it a bit far, but whatever. I respect not liking losing, you know? I also don't resign. In this position, I would just finish it and count or resign. But I wouldn't be doing this. But I understand it, you know? I'm not gonna complain. You played 12 games against him in official European tournaments? Yeah. Yeah, I guess my record is about even with him now. Like, he used to beat me more when we were younger, because I was an up-and-coming player, and he was already 6'10", so he'd beat me. Recently, I do okay against him. He actually won against Youngsam. He actually won against Youngsam. And he did it like this. Youngsam was winning, and then Jonas started, like, fooling around inside his opponent's territory. And it worked.
4.
8-4. 8-4 for Jonas. Yeah. I mean, the first time we played, I was 2Q and he was 5-dan in a youth championship. So that didn't go well for me. My 4 wins are all in the last year and a half. So that's probably why I felt like it should be, like, even. Okay. Right now I can Tanuki, but his next move here will be Sente. Or Seki. On the other hand, there's, like, literally nothing else to do on the board, so I might as well just fix. It's crazy how much Dame White has, yeah. But yeah, oh wait, I forgot about that. D10's big. D10's worth 1 point in Sente. I completely forgot about that. It's fine. I missed a point. If it were a half-point game, different, but could not possibly be a half-point game. But yeah, Jonas, by doing this like funky stuff inside his opponent's territory, that's how he beat Kim Young-sam. Who's, you know, 8-dan Korean import to Europe, who's extremely good. So, man, actually, I have a story about that. So I was playing in the Dublin tournament in 2019, and I was staying in the same house. Like, there were some local players that hosted us, very nice of them. And I was staying in the same house as Mani and Youngsam. We were going back home in the car, and then somebody was dunking on Jonas, because that's what people do. Like, they make fun of Jonas because he plays weird. And then I was like, guys, nobody in this room can make fun of Jonas, including Youngsam. I said that. And like, I didn't expect that. Youngsam like physically cringed. Like, you could see the pain. And I was like, oh, whoops, sorry. That loss didn't go down well, apparently. I'd cringe too if I reminded of losing to Jonas. Well, let's just play some dame. Remember that game in the Dutch Open? Now Oscar's a joke for jigs? What? What do I have to do with jigs? Like, joking anyway. I do teach there. Yeah, remember that game in the Dutch Open? I mean, Jonas is streaming and I'm streaming. We could actually comment that game. We could review that game together. That would be really fun. Let's pass. Okay. Hey, accept the room.
You have
I won by 12. Yeah, but the game was really close before that. Look at this. At this point, AI says, like, I'm up 2 points, 1 point. And the thing is, at some point, I was up. Man, I was never up that much. Wow. So white was in danger, but my attitude was correct. I just was never that far ahead. Like, I was ahead a little bit, you know? Like 2 points, 1 point when I was attacking the center group. And the middle game was good for white. That's what OGS AI says. So, okay, fair enough. Anyway, that was very interesting. Thanks for the games. Thanks. Well. Now I will probably put on headphones. And I hope that somehow people can hear Jonas. I hope. Also, another thing, I hope that my computer doesn't collapse because